Hello trainers, Neto here, and today we're diving into my best teams for Halloween Cup, but this time in Ultra League. Because if you didn't know, this is gonna be the second themed cup ever for Ultra League, and we're gonna have tons of fun here. A lot of XL Pokemon as always. It is gonna be kind of a restricted version of the Open Ultra League, and you're gonna see some really nice new faces that you're gonna enjoy. And one of those faces is gonna be Genesect on every single possible drive that you can get it off. So we're gonna check that together on the entirety of this video. We're gonna also showcase the Genesect team so that you can have the upper hand towards your opponent when that format starts off in a couple of hours. So with that in mind, trainers, now let's dive into the first team showcase. We're starting off with the Nidoqueen team, and we're having quite the time here because Nidoqueen is gonna apply so much pressure with its fast attacks. You already know how crazily good that Poison Fang of its moveset can be from Great League, so here it makes no surprise at all that we're seeing Nidoqueen up on the higher rankings for the Halloween Cup of Ultra League. We're having so much fun here with Nidoqueen, with Poison Fang and Earth Power. I really like Earth Power for neutral coverage and especially against some steel types, but overall you're gonna go with Poison Fang most of the times, dealing so much damage to the enemy, and Earth Power will be mostly for those other poison types that you are gonna be able to encounter along your way. At the back we have a Giratina, which is gonna take the spot of the safe switch. I really like it for this cup. Not a lot of fairies are gonna be around for the meta because poison is gonna be pretty much everywhere, and you have some steel types like the Scizor, like the Scavalier, or even that Genesect, so you might be seeing a lot less charms along the way, and the back line is gonna be extremely bad against charms, but here is where Nidoqueen can help with that. So you see the synergy over there, a little bit ABB team here against charm. We also have that Umbreon that I like it with Last Resort over Psychic. I have a Psychic here because I do not have another version of Umbreon, and if you're thinking about using Umbreon, just go with Last Resort. It will help you against other dark types, and of course Psychic can help you against poison types, but most poisons might be part dark as well, like the Drapion, Skuntank and Mach, which are all gonna be resisting that Psychic move. Overall, you're seeing that this team has a lot of answers to the opponent, for any scenario, and relies a lot on its bulk, and that's why I prefer the regular version of Nidoqueen over the Shadow one. The core breaker team is gonna be the Fortress because it has a very nice matchup against the poisons, and of course against the backline it can still trouble them with its moveset. However, it has very soft wins, which means that you can still destroy it down with a little bit of synergy and without that much of pressure from your team. We move now into the next one, and we're having an Escavalier team. This one is gonna provide so much pressure with its moveset. It is not gonna be that heavily invested on its defense, but you still have some defensive Pokemon here. But let's start off with Escavalier because it is no defensive at all. Escavalier is gonna take advantage of the absence of the fire types. The only good fire type Pokemon is gonna be Incineroar, and other than that you might encounter with yourself a Genesect with the Burn Drive, which will give it access to Flamethrower or Technoblast with fire coverage. That is gonna be really good against your Escavalier, but other than that you can still pressure those Pokemon with your counters, dealing so much damage because just remember that Genesect is also gonna be extremely glassy, and of course the Incineroar is gonna take super effective damage from those fast attacks of yours. However, the Fire Fangs can still hurt, and you have to take that into account when you're encountering a Pokemon like Incineroar. Even against Incineroar though, you're gonna have a safe switch on the face of Alolan Mach, which is gonna go pretty well against anything. I really like Alolan Mach as a safe switch with Snarl over that Poison Jab because it can get to its charge attacks much faster and can provide even more pressure to the enemy. With Poison Jabs, it feels like it is gonna get outmatched by certain elements, something like a Nidoqueen for example, or other poison types, but with Snarl it can provide so much pressure even when those moves are resisted, because you can get there pretty fast, and both Dark Pulse and Gang Shot or even Sludge Wave can help you a lot against certain elements of Halloween Cup for Ultra League. At the back we also have Jellicent, which is gonna be a very nice Pokemon overall, and you're gonna see that in no time you can bring your opponent in no HP with those back-to-back Shadow Balls, almost back-to-back, or even Ice Beams. I don't like Bubble Beam at all for Ultra League because it feels kinda stale for a moveset for a Pokemon like Jellicent. My Jellicent here is 100%, which means that it doesn't have that much of excels invested in its CP there, as you can see, and I'm gonna use it with I think 100 excels. That's the maximum amount that I could get, to be honest, and it was barely enough to power it up to a point that I can use it for Ultra League. And yeah, Jellicent a pretty nice closer, especially with Darks out of the way. Now, trainers, we're gonna take a look at a team that is gonna be an ABB and ABA at the same time. We have a water up in front, we have a water at the back, and double poison at the back. This is pretty weird, but I really like this team composition. Tapu Fini can pressure even that Nidoqueen, which is gonna lose to, by the way, but still it is gonna be part ground type, so with Tapu Fini you can still pressure with water guns and serves, dealing so much pressure to the opponent, and most likely Tapu Fini is gonna be one of the best leads out there because it has a lot of soft wins and soft losses, pretty much like Vigoroth does in the Great League format. At the back we have Tentacruel, which is gonna work as a closer, and I really like this Pokemon because you can still use it with a Sludge Wave over Acid Spray. Just keep in mind that you're gonna need Scald no matter what, and Tentacruel will close pretty much any match that your opponent might be into. As a safe switch I have Drapion. My Drapion here is only level 40, but if you have a better one, just go for it. I don't like Aqua Tail at all for Ultra League. I prefer the Sludge Bomb and Crunch, to be honest, but Drapion here is gonna do a lot of work against the enemy. A pretty nice safe pick overall for the Ultra League meta, and of course for the Halloween Cup in total. Core breaker of the team, Nihilego, I hope I said that correctly. This Pokemon can apply a lot of pressure up in front, can apply a lot of pressure against the backline as well, while resisting those poison moves by a lot, because it is part rock and part poison. However, I don't think that Nihilego is gonna be super much meta, and you're not gonna find it a lot against any opposing team. I think you're gonna be just fine by using this team as it is, and you're not gonna have any problems at all. And here we are, battlers, on the final team showcase for this video, with Nidoqueen up on the lead, followed up by Giratina and Genesect. This line is gonna be similar to the first one that we showcased, but instead of Umbreon we're gonna have Genesect. I really like how Genesect can fit in this team, because the other two Pokemon can protect it from certain elements, something like an Escavalier for example, and you're gonna be in a very good spot overall. I really like the Burn Drive over the other drives, because PvP might have that Ice Drive up in front as the top ranking Genesect, but I prefer the Burn Drive because other bug steals are gonna be in the meta. You're gonna have a much better time with your Burn Drive, you can surprise the enemy, and of course you can always use the Shock Drive if you feel like the meta is centered around water type Pokemon, like we saw before with Tapu Fini and Tentacruel. So this team is gonna rely a lot of synergy. You have to rotate a little bit, you want to get on your opposing side something like an Escavalier, something like another counter user, or even an Incineroar, so that your Genesect will have a better closing scenario overall. Not gonna lie, I was not having quite the time using Genesect because it is super glass, it cannot take the hits, and most probably it is gonna get outclassed bulk wise from other key Pokemon for Halloween Cup, but definitely a fun investment, and I think that you are not gonna regret using it, at least for a few sets. As a core breaker we have another Giratina here, and I think that it's gonna work as a core breaker because it has a very good matchup against Nidoqueen. Against our Burn Drive Genesect it might work really well, and with the only solid answer that we have against this Pokemon is gonna be our own Giratina. So that's all, trainers, thank you for watching, thank you for staying till the end. Just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, write down in the comment section which one was your favorite team, the favorite line, and I hope to see you all into the next one. Take care, trainers. Choo choo choo.